Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have the buffed Lee Sin, because when you have a 45% win rate, you tend to not be a good jungler. And yeah, there's a pilot issue. I mean, if you were good at Lee Sin, could you make it work like Canyon does in pro play? Yeah, maybe. But you know, let's just face reality, most of us cannot do that. However, we have the rank 1 EU West Lee Sin on the enemy team and one of the other better Lee Sins on the blue team. So we get to look at two things. How do these energy cost buffs affect Lee Sin as a jungler? And if you're a one-trick or someone who really mains a champion, how do you defeat it or go against it when you're not on said champion? Because the knowledge you have should be at least useful, correct? So we put a little bit of a cheeky ward here that is of course placed by the Pike, but now of course you have, if I say of course like Max Verstappen 1,000 times in a sentence, we have the enemy team potentially late invading and controlling this area. So it's not something I'm usually a fan of. I mean, if you're a Rengar and you can go with your top laner, sure, let's do that late invade. We'll get the ferocity stacks, we'll annihilate the enemy jungler. No one can handle us except maybe an exhaust Kafis. But in this situation, I don't like losing pressure for most of you, so if you're not in high elo, please play it safe. Runes you would have seen on your screen were absolutely standard stuff. Booties, Cosmic. We have here the Gangplank showing up a little bit late. We have here the Ezreal sitting in lane with Karma full mana, so we know Lee Sin is facing the Viego, who started on the red side. We started on the blue side, and we're both sequencing down. And that's the important thing. When this happens, and in this meta it will happen, you know, can you beat 1v1? What is your clear going to be? Are you going to cut your clear short to invade their full clear, to just look for an early gank, to look for a 2v2 counter gank? You've got to assess the game plan as you move. Now, what does the enemy jungler want to do? And what am I going to do about it? Maybe I just want to go ahead and gank first and 4 camp and get in here and then look for this, you know? Especially against a Viego who could 3 camp gank. On point. Mid laners, please, do this. If you have prior, do this. This tells us everything we need to know. And now Lee Sin knows, let me cut through and I can go and do some invadings, some cheeky Q hits. And remember, these buffs, you might think, oh, 5 energy cost reduction on all his base spells. That's 16.666, you know, reoccurring percent reduction. That's not meaningless. You know, it's quite substantial actually. And it has led to a 0.7 to 1% increase in his win rate. Now, obviously, this is very, very straightforward stuff. In the meantime, in bottom lane, we have a 2v2 victory, but the Viego's cut through and just sprinted on down. And that's the thing with Viego, right? Viego has this ability with his E to disappear and rotate and cut you off. We saw that in the main channel video. Lee Sin shows up as well. No respect whatsoever to the Lee Sin showing on the map, to the Vex using their pride to rotate down. We're going to go on to the Viego now. He's going to E and try and turbo sprint away, but I think we'll have an easy kill for us. So nice, good fistings early, but it shows you the importance of reacting to information on the map. The Viego sees this, goes straight down, cleans up 2 kills. That's great. Vex, that's a lazy back. Lee Sin reactively rotates after trying to invade here, rotates to the bottom side as well. And now back into the topic of your general sort of mana cost buffs, energy cost buffs. The benefit there is, in this meta with stretched out fights, elongated fights, and of course when you're clearing as a jungler, having your spells be able to actually be used is crucial, you know? And if you've got 2 high mana costs, that's, say, 3 spells, for example. You lower the mana cost, okay, now we can do 4, maybe 5 if that buff is really insane. And all of a sudden, you can stretch out those fights and win those fights. And that's why good Lee Sins will always notice these sort of energy buffs and these mana buffs, because it's not mana, right? Mana definitely much more strict in terms of that regeneration, but we got a Krugs here. At least Viego goes straight to the bottom side. This, you see, this got nothing to do with Viego. This has nothing to do with Viego at all. Why are we running down here knowing the Lee Sin, the 12 side blue, 12 CS from blue side into this invasion into the bottom lane? It's really silly to rotate down there yourself. What is this game? Now Ari comes and shows up. Lee Sin's still around here. He's gonna die trying to go for the Ezreal. Has everybody lost their minds? Okay, anyway. So, a lot of things to unpack from this, but I think not a lot of it is always useful. Mostly, good job by the Viego, good job by the Lee Sin. Lee Sin falls back. Viego, stupid job here. We had all of this fall back plus double scuttle control plus invade here. You know, instead of trying to clean up bot lanes, look to remove the Lee Sin. Expect the Lee Sin to be there. So we have here basically 2,100 to 2,048 gold. Basically the same. We're not going for this RNG crab, which is interesting because the Viego at this point could have and maybe should have gone for this just to fall back in to remove some of that vision control, because for the Pike, you know, obviously Pike is Pike, but just a little bit of control here. But he's roaming, he's using that lead. Karma's counter roaming, she's gonna get collapsed on and killed. That's a Vex and a Pike. So what can you do? Lee Sin now is going to shove level 4, hook into another kill. You know, I looked at the gold graph and this did not look as snowballing. You can see now all of this nonsense, and we're only up 800 gold. Normally you'd be up, oh, that was nice. There we go. All right, 3-1-2. So if you're a Lee Sin main in the majority of elos and you're seeing a game like this, you should be happy. Because if you need to revert to full clearing, that's not so good. Okay, you don't want to be a full clearing junglers. Lee Sin, you want to look for these ganks, you want to look for these fights, and that's where these energy costs are going to be huge. Obviously, yes, and clears as well, but definitely these stretched out and long fights. Now, how are we doing here? Fighting the gangplank, we're at 6. We're long past the 530 wave. We're at 610, in fact. We get hooked into our ultimate, but it doesn't do damage to ourselves. Imagine that. That'd be brilliant. And then, of course, he still turns around and gets a kill because gangplank is a champion that exists. Now, a lot has happened. A lot has happened. If you're looking for a more measured game, the Kha'Zix video I uploaded yesterday, that will show you a more measured game. This is what Lee Sin wants. But how do we translate? Virkayu is now shown up. We're able to get the Grumple level 5. We have Iron Spike Whip plus a longsword versus Sheen plus a longsword. We still get chunked a little bit. Conqueror versus Conqueror Gaming. Ari is moving up a little bit here. So you do have to be very cautious about this, okay? You have to respect this possibility. Ari shows up. Okay, we're not going straight forward. We already have a blue buff, you know, chunking away, so we don't need this right now. Let's set up a good sequencing. And Viego's probably going to have to fall back into his red side. So I'm processing this for the first time, as you all are as well. I try to find games that had high kill participation mostly, because that's at least something you're definitely looking for with your safeguard, with your ult, with your disengage, and with your activity. But a lot of the games were significantly more supportive. You know, not a lot of kills more than assists, a lot of assists more than kills. Again, a decent thing with your safeguard. And of course, AoE damage in fights really does amplify that, but that's minimal. But this was one of those games where we had more kills than assists, and it was definitely something that looked to be a bit more interesting. And I can honestly say, I'm having fun. I'm having fun because it's just complete limit testing of the fights, and that's exactly what you want when you have these kinds of buffs. Again, you know, 16 2/3% decrease on the energy costs on each of those base spells is nothing to scoff at. It's like when they nerfed or buffed Graves AD by 5. I'm just going, Riot memes. And then I said, yeah, but, you know, if that's like 5-10% buff or nerf on every auto, on everything that scales off of AD, that's substantial over the rotation of an entire fight or an entire clear. That adds up quite substantially. So here we've gone for the Krugs here first, and looks like we might have had our red yeeted away from us. And of course we're gonna go get, nice, easy smite on the RNG crab, which is exactly what we want. The AoE camps here are not really necessary. I mean, the buff will probably give us a bit more utility if we're gonna go buff crab into sort of action. I definitely prefer that over focusing the Krugs. Karma shows up. I love this deep ward. And again, now we're looking to fight. You know, you're not looking to farm. We're looking to use these mana cost increases. Hello, Viego. That was my red Karma again, completely out of position. Still 5 assists. OKDA is still 1. Still 1. It's not lower than 1. So no flame. No flame. Sivir is 1, 2, 3. ADCs are useful. Ezreal's now rotated to the mid lane. Lee Sin again has gone to the Raptors fullback. Disregard for that from the enemy jungler as well. Excellent chain CC hook fear. And now, of course, Ding's level 7. We have your level 7 Lee Sin. We can safeguard to gap close a little bit. Are we going to go for a hook Q? Yes, we are. Oh, we took it. In this case, that's a good take. Not like the bronze Lee Sin takes. Don't. You know, I know your mind says no, but your body says yes. You need to make sure that your mind says yes and your body says yes, and then you can take it. That's a Pyke going for the gap close with his ult into the hook, into the stun. This is some gorgeous Pyke play. Excellent response from the Lee Sin to get that kill, execute on the Q, and then to safeguard to safety. Guys, you want to leave? I think we should be a little bit cautious about overstaying here with our low HP Pyke. Pyke is dead. Happens. So 14-9, 3k gold lead. You know, on the face of it, you're thinking, good, GG. Still a Gangplank, it's still a Viego, it's still an Ari, it's still an Ezreal. You know, and we're still Lee Sin. Yeah, we don't have, you know, 0 scaling, but it's definitely something that you want to keep in your mind. Obviously, Qmax. Lee Sin lane, I kind of wanted to segue into that, but I'm not going to because that is an abomination. When Viego goes lane, and Lee Sin goes lane, and of course Kha'Zix is OP with that W max W evolve mana moon comet stuff. You know, it's not good. So out of base here, how do we keep this pressure up? Now we've managed to not coin flip, but play very, very well the fights, rotate to things we need to rotate to, use the benefit of our low energy cost. So that's not really coming too much. It's not really shown too much in this game, you know, which is my point. Lee Sin was still fine if the pilot was good. The guy on the enemy team, A1001s, he is the rank 1 Lee Sin EU West, and he's challenger, and he uses Lee Sin. So you can't tell me, okay, well, Lee Sin is trash, but this one dude got Grandmaster with, you know, Ahri jungle, therefore Ahri jungle is good. You know, you got to think about when you say these things, and seriously, these things happen all the time. Someone will see some random off-meta video that really doesn't mean anything. One dude can use a champion in a specific way one time in one meta, that's it, to get a peak rank before it goes down again. And all of a sudden, hey, guys, it's viable. Yes, everyone can use this. No. If everyone could use it, it would be meta, you know? And I say that as an off-meta enthusiast. I play Zyra jungle, Ornn jungle, and trust me, that's Shuriman tank. I will be playing that Shuriman tank in the jungle. Believe you me. The chain CC and the holding of the Qs, obviously you want that HP to go down before you follow up on that Q. It's super, super good. And this is something, you know, when you're in low elo, don't tell me that Pikes and Bards, Dutes don't leave lane, because they do. And sometimes the problem is they have no idea when to leave lane, when not to leave lane, so they typically just leave lane. If you have this pressure with them, use it. But the most important aspect of this is you take the Herald, right? You take the Herald. Can we translate? Can we translate? Do we need to fall back first and then translate? Doesn't matter. From that, use it. Get into their jungle here. Now fall back to the objective. The whole point of elevating the game state and pushing the map with at least Sin specifically. And this is where people fail with the champion. You know, you can have great mechanics. You can have great fights just like this one. You can play around your team just like this one. You can suppress the enemy jungler just like this one. But if you don't take this Herald, shove this mid lane, get in his jungle, ward that shit up, fall back to the dragon, and make it so that, hey, if I don't want the dragon, I'm not going to take the dragon. But you're also not getting the dragon, because there's no ways you're leaving this, going down here and taking this without my team or me doing something about it. Now here, of course, the Civ is just getting free real estate on those plates. And again, the Ezreal is 5-1-3, so do not scoff at this. Yeah, the Viego has played, I guess, too much like Lee Sin, you know? Looking for these skirmishes, looking for these reactive paths, looking for those great safeguards, repositioning mobility, but he's Viego, so you need to be a little bit, this was nice, look at that bleed damage, moving to the red, you know, segueing all the, look at this is exactly what you want, okay? You see how nice and smooth that is? That's how you play the Lee Sin for the optimal clears. If you're not using that, that was a weird flash animation. If you're not using that, then you're not optimizing your clear and your sequencing to get that 6.5 CS a minute, which I think is a nice, reasonable target. I mean, obviously we're looking a bit more 5.5 and 6 typically, but I feel like any jungler that is viable in the current meta can 6.5 CS a minute. And that's something I put as a target even on my tanks, you know. Ornn is typically 6.5. If I'm trying, if I'm kind of playing different elos, I can try to get 7, but if you need to be places and farm, you've got to optimize your champion's ability to clear quadrants quickly, because you're not going to be full sequencing, right? You're going to clear a quadrant, base. You're going to move on up, take something, clear quadrant, and keep going, or you're going to take the quadrant and then rotate. So as long as you're doing this stuff quickly and optimally, you'll always be able to get to situations fast. Here we go, jumping to the ward that's placed. Whoa. Oh, okay. I kind of wanted... Hold up, I kind of want to see how close the gangplank was. You see, this is stupid, you know? Don't telegraph where you're going. You see, you telegraph you're going to this, and now is where you walk. Now is where you walk, right? You kind of disengage. Right, let's see. I don't see the animation. I mean, could he have just held on? He didn't even get the Q hit. He could have just held on, though. You're dead anyway. You're 100% dead. So why not just go, okay, flash Q, he missed. I'm gonna just, you know, reascend them testicles and go back to base, hopefully. But no such trust in his back timing. And of course, Lee Sin just goes for the E smash Giga Stomp R. Right. Meanwhile, our team is going the mid lane. If you're gonna have a winning game like this, where your laners are doing a solid job, and they're gonna get caught here, this is a coin flip, right? By going top lane. This is a coin flip now. They're going 3, they have 3 or 4. you know, they could die, they could all wipe, but this pressure is fine in your low elo, mid elo games, yeah? Push this wave, take this tower, look to depressurize a little bit, fall back, take this crap, take this, reset, now look for the next stage as your team respawns, okay? So that's what you want to do in those situations. Here we try to rotate to get somewhere. We're going to leave that for our Heimerdinger so we can get the RNG crab, which is the value of a Krug camp, basically. So, you know, value that extensively. Fall back to the Gromp anyway and reset. You could look to repeat gank this, assuming Viego is going to join up and try and do something about it, which I think is a logical assumption, but Pyke is going to make that read. And if you are a support player, jungle player, these are the same reads. The difference is, as a support player, we don't need to farm. So, junglers, obviously you do. This push here, as expected, I would anticipate seeing. There he is, he shows up, but the Pyke has got this covered, he shows an award, they have to respect it. Lee Sin now doesn't go to the bottom side, yeah? He sees his team wants to siege mid a little bit, uses Lee to push into the jungle. He doesn't go farming, he rotates, he's gonna go look to do stuff. Now, I will say, I would have preferred a quick snack of the Raptors to get 11 and then move on up. I think that's definitely something that you should look to do, it's definitely valuable. Gangplank swaps, we trap. Are they dumb enough to go for this? Because this is what you want to do if you're the red team, right? If you're the red team, you do not face check. You do not face check. You respect the fact you know they're there. End of story. All right, so if you're in this situation as the Viego and you're behind, chill the fuck out. Let them have it. Move on down here. Take this. Join the gangplank for a double push, 3-man push. Really try and threaten this. They will have to respect it. You know, so there's definitely things you can do, but with no Baron being up, and no real concern about losing another objective, you can just bide your time and be patient. So as Lee Sin, yes, that's exactly what we want to do, but as the Viego, that's also exactly what we want to do. Right now it's a game of patience and who's going to make the mistake and who's going to make the play. And just like you saw Canyon in that replay, excellent insect, it does happen, you know? Sometimes you just got to make a giga play to win the game. Second Herald is going to be respawning, so we say, right, they obviously are not biting the bait. Let's snack this, and then go for this. Deny this bounty, but also give us the ability to break the base more. So this second Herald, I love it in these kind of leasing games where you want to close it out. Here we go, right. We got 3 points in W now, just FYI in case you can't read that. Ari showing up here. We want to sneak this. I mean, don't go for coin flip steals if you're the Viego. I do think he lost his advantage though. Remember, the advantage of a lot of typical meta junglers over 46-47% win rate Lee Sins, as he bites, you know, impatience, there you go, is that they can farm pretty damn well. You know, they can farm pretty damn well, and they can fall back to kind of take things as the Lee Sin looks for action. And that's where you get your leads. And he's down 6 CS on the Lee Sin. So those rotations early were very Lee Sin-like, but he didn't actually try and play against the Lee Sin and use Lee Sin's weaknesses against him. Gangplank. Yeah. Yeah. Fair and enjoyable champion. Definitely something that's super fun to play against. Some champions just need to be weak for a little bit. I'm hoping, and sacrificing potentially a artificial and plastic goat to Odin, that they will not buff Jace and Kennen. Although Kennen already happened before Worlds, because if I have to see one more Worlds with a Jace Kennen top lane, I'm going to lose my damn mind. Really. Honestly. Like, the boring picks, you see, now as they move into the jungle here, we're looking again to make the pick. The game is stalled out significantly, so you need that second Herald. You need to be able to use that second Herald to bust open the map a bit more. It's stalled out completely. And they're down 6k gold or so, just under, but they still have a Gangplank, they still have a Turbo Ezreal. All right, and these are the things that Draven Ward is absolutely horrifying. If we have enough money for cash items, then we can do so. If you need to finish up this, you can. But then remember, you're not going to be in sync with your team. So in this situation, go back, get the Warhammer, get the Cloth Armor. Now we can sync up with our team. We can use this Herald, which you're going to need to bust out very, very soon. So we can take this. If you can really get a crucial item here, it's okay in this situation to kind of stay and finish that quadrant. You could look to hold afterwards, but the idea there is there's no Baron, there's no dragon spawning, and you know, our team can afford to wait just a little bit. If there's a crucial dragon spawning or a Baron spawning, you know, back for the Warhammer and the cloth is fine. Now, we really need to look to make a play. See, this is exactly what the enemy team is now doing, what they should have done. And now you can imagine, what if they just didn't int early, or just didn't try and make plays that weren't conducive to their win conditions early? What ifs season 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the way up to 1 million the question that is never answered is that one relating to League of Legends players' ability to play a scaling champion and be patient. Now, Vex is still pushing on the top side, and Gangplank has set a trap with the Viego, who's getting feared now. He's going to try and make plays. We do have another collapse by the Karma. Lee Sin's going, what are you doing up there? You could look to shatter, but again, with Heimer bot lane 2 mid, that's not something you want to do. 1v1 almost, ADC on ADC crime, but now the Baron's up. Now the Baron's up. But you know, because Ezreal's dead, great job by the Sivir, that they're not going to be able to try and do this. And obviously you've got a Heimerdinger splitting bot lane, so take it. Come on, take it. You know he's there, take it. No, you should. And Lee Sin's looking to trap again. We need to use his Herald. They're pinging this because they think the Lee Sin might be doing it with the Sivir, which is interesting. I don't think that's remotely what's going to happen. We're running out of time. Going for the Death Stones next as well, of course. And let's go and take this Krug camp. Pyke is, oh man, see, this is where it gets interesting, because this is what I suppose happens to most of you when you play early game junglers like this, and the enemy team plays patient and your team can't make a play. This is why the second Herald is so good, and he's waited until now to make the play. Boom, boom, yes. You see, 1-2, let's go. Push this up, parallel, please, a little bit, we're lacking that, that's fine. We're gonna use the Herald there. Vex goes deep, versus the RER. R for R will take them apples. Gangplank shows up, we get the tower. Can we get at least a chunk? No, we cannot, unfortunate. Our whole team rotates and collapses. This is what we're looking for. Second Herald provided display opportunity. Vex goes for the fear. Viego goes way too deep. Lee Sin is going to focus on it, sees her come out of position, goes for the kill. Is not able to kill her, but gets to disengage. In the meantime, the rest of the team takes care of the Viego. So good segmentation of the enemy team by the Lee Sin. That's exactly what you want to do. Hit the Q, take the Q, use a gold drinker. Make sure you're using everything else. Shield yourself, lifesteal, hit the E. And then we can move on up to push this tower. There we go. That's it. Welcome to Lee Sin. Skirmish early. Get yourself a little bit of a lead so that you can threaten any enemy jungler in their face and in their jungle. Push that map to make sure you're securing the dragons and the heralds. Use that herald to bust open valuable towers. Look to make picks by setting traps in their jungle. And when they don't bite on it, reset, fall back to your camps, keep taking their camps, slowly starve them out, Be like, not Vader, you know? As Obi once said, he doesn't have the patience for siege. You must have the patience for siege, because if you don't, you're gonna kind of throw. And in this situation, you're just waiting for that one moment, Canyon-esque. And if you play properly, you win. If you play badly, you lose. Here you see he was gonna collapse on here for numbers advantage, but what a great thing Lee Sin can do, yes, insect, yes, disengage an assassin with a kick, but also completely split the enemy team. Yeah, they're going way too deep here, but you have to recognize that and play around it appropriately. Now, well, that was close. I thought I saw a fight about to happen. Viego showing in the vision there, not scanning properly. Why are we trying to sneak a Baron? Ah, see, this is it. That whole bottom lane play, the kick Q is just, I hate it when it's against me, but it's so satisfying to watch. We hit another one, we take another one, there we go. We save our safeguard. Iron Will. There you go. I couldn't remember the second part of that name. For the ward to get into another position, and then we go ahead and kill the Ezreal. Assassino activation. This one fight, this busting open of the base, forces a desperation play, when again, they could just say, look, they're going for the Baron, let's maybe steal this dragon for bounty, and then wave clear. But if you are the one with a mental fortitude to use that lead in exactly the way he used it here, you will always find them making a desperation play, and that's when Lee Sin capitalizes. Really good example of Lee Sin overall as a gameplay, overall as a champion. Well played, not so good by the enemy team. Definitely played like a Lee Sin instead of playing against the Lee Sin, but I think that was a fun game. Right? Let me know, that was a fun game. Don't forget, boot camp coming very, very soon, August 22nd. Information will follow this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed and learned something. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I will see you all, or not see you all, in the next tutorial. And yes, that will be through a bootcamp with Gosu Academy and of course Coach Kybit alongside me to make you a genius League of Legends player in 10 days. And apparently I only wear vests in my content so that you eat this from Instagram, but as you can see, I do look quite teachery. But what shall we be learning and when shall we be learning it? End of August, first week of September, 22nd of August is the first day we shall start. Coach Kyvid and myself will take turns giving you master lessons, as well as having VOD review classes and a variety of other jungle coaches and League of Legends lane coaches helping you out every single day. And obviously I'm a jungle EDU YouTuber, so I believe and trust all the videos I put out there, but having a sort of active learning principle behind everything we do is significantly better. You've got the teachers and you've got the coaches overseeing how you're learning and giving you actionable goals to apply those tips to your games. You simply sign up through the site, you get access to the exclusive Discord, and wait and be ready. There are a variety of packages available for you. Basically, for the cost of one coaching session, you're getting about 30 coaching sessions. And obviously, there is VOD review access 100% to everything you need. If you miss a lesson, you will be able to watch it on VODs. Click the link in the description below and it will be pinned in the comment section for 10% off for the first people who sign up. I'm really looking forward to talking more about this in the coming weeks, and I look forward to seeing everybody there. And maybe if we get like 1,000 signups, I'll do a Fiora cosplay.